Okay guys, this is the NTSB report on the fire that destroyed fishing vessel Three Girls in the Gulf of Maine on America's east coast. This is from the Maritime Exclusive and it was published on February the 13th, 2025. The fire that destroyed the fishing vessel Three Girls off the coast of Maine in 2024 was likely caused by a spray of hydraulic oil, according to an investigation by the NTSB. The crew all abandoned ship and survived, in a small part because of a timely and creative action by the vessel's master. On August 11th, the Three Girls was underway in the Gulf of Maine on a routine trip and had 5 crew members and a fisheries observer on board. At 8:50 p.m., the crew was hauling in nets and running hydraulic systems at full power when the captain smelled something burning. He checked the engine room and encountered thick smoke, so thick that he could not clearly see where the fire was coming from. He determined that the blaze was too serious to fight, and he ordered the crew to prepare to abandon ship. The master went into the wheelhouse to make a mayday call. Though the smoke was chokingly thick, he managed to get the call out, and the Coast Guard launched response assets. Before leaving, the master also shut down the winch engine, but could not shut down the main engine or generator, which was still powering the vent fans for the engine room, because there was no remote shutoffs on board. The vessel also lacked ventilation louvers or remote shutoffs for the ventilation fans to cut oxygen to the fire. To prepare to abandon ship, the mate ran into the accommodation area and retrieved the vessel's immersion suits. He retrieved 5 suits before smoke and fire forced him out of the space, leaving the crew 1 suit short. The master instructed the rest of the crew to don the available suits, and he volunteered to abandon ship without wearing one. Instead, the crew inflated the life raft on the deck and the master climbed in, and the crew pushed the raft down the trawler's stern ramp with the master in it, allowing him to stay dry. The rest of the crew followed down the ramp into the water and then climbed into the raft. That was very, very smart move, that's for sure. As the Coast Guard rescue helicopter approached, the master set off 2 rocket flares to ensure that the raft was spotted quickly. He turned down an asset from a Good Samaritan fishing vessel, concerned that the transfer from the raft to the hard-hauled fishing vessel might be risky for his crew in choppy conditions, and waited for the Coast Guard rescue boat from the cutter William Chadwick. The cutter took all survivors on board at 11:14 and no injuries were reported. The fire burned through the night, destroying most of the engine room, accommodations and wheelhouse. The vessel stayed afloat, but the blaze was hot enough to warp the bulkhead and deck plates. The Three Girls was declared a total loss at a value of $1.3 million. The Coast Guard, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms, and the NTSB inspected the boat after the fire. They found evidence that the blaze had been the hottest near the hydraulic return oil filter housing next to the winch engine. Based on the fire pattern, they believed that the likely cause was a spray of hydraulic oil from the filter housing, a hydraulic hose fitting, or hose segment. A fine high-pressure hydraulic oil spray could have reached the uninsulated parts of the winch engine's exhaust system, igniting and then burning through other nearby flammable materials. Most serious engine room fires begin with a spray of fuel or oil onto hot exhaust components. After an engine room fire ignites, it is imperative to remove the sources of available fuel and ventilation to the fire to prevent it from spreading. Vessel designers, builders, owners, and operators are encouraged to install, regularly test, and have emergency drills that incorporate remote shutoffs for all machinery within these spaces to ensure the machinery can be remotely stopped from outside of the space where it is situated. Additionally, to prevent the reintroduction of oxygen to the space, vessel designers and owners should ensure that the ventilation, both natural and forced draft, can be completely and remotely secured to all the engines. I remember when this happened, the tug went out and tried to put the fire out. It reignited on the way in. They towed her into the harbor and she was put out at the dock. The fire was put out at the dock. It's amazing she didn't sink, but some quick thinking by the captain and the crew of this boat, and everybody got to go home, and that's the main thing, that's for sure. Unfortunately, the boat was a total loss, but the boat can be replaced. The people cannot. So in the end, this worked out pretty good. It took some quick thinking, but that's where experience comes in. Unfortunately, they couldn't put the fire out, but they were able to get off the boat safely and got to go home to their families. And that's a good thing. Alright guys, there it is. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these type of videos, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.